The Pokemon card market is in a crisis for collectors, but if Pokemon did this one thing, they could make Pokemon cards available to everyone. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're watching the channel Dr. Applesauce 2. My name's Will. It's another beautiful day here in Texas. I hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there's an awesome plan for your life. So I wanted to bring a little positivity to you guys, a little hope. Pokemon just made a public announcement today that they acknowledge how hard it is for people to get their hands on Pokemon cards right now, and that they're going to reprint sets as fast and as much and as often as possible. This is a wonderful announcement, but unless it's done properly, I wonder if it will actually have a big effect. Now, here is a strategy that they could use that could really work. This is a technique that Pokemon could use that could really improve things and improve the accessibility of new Pokemon card sets to everyone. If you've been having a hard time getting your hands on the newest Pokemon card sets for reasonable prices, drop me a comment down below and let me know. But what I'm going to talk to you about is a technique that I've seen used in a bunch of other collectibles industries. And what I want to talk to you about is pre-orders, which is something we all know about, but timed release pre-orders. Now, you might not know what a timed release pre-order is. I do collect some designer toys, as you can see right there. I've got some old school and new school designer toys, and I've also got a few over here that you can see, and there's some designer toys in the background, as well as posters and stuff like that. That's something that I collect a little bit of, and something that happens a lot with those collectible types. Now, bear with me, okay? We're not venturing off. Something that happens a lot with those collectible types are things called timed release pre-orders. Now, a company might put something up saying, hey, we're going to drop this thing, whatever this thing is, and it's only going to be 1,000 of them. And then another time they're going to put something up and say, hey, we're doing something special, but we're doing a timed release pre-order. Now, what is a timed release pre-order, and how could a timed release pre-order save Pokemon and make Pokemon cards way more available to anybody that wants them? Because I see a lot of people saying, hey, the solution is to just print to oblivion, just print. And while that could help, this actually would work better than printing into oblivion, because what a timed release pre-order is basically you have a certain time that the pre-orders are open, and everything that's pre-ordered within that time frame is produced, probably with an additional like 10% for, you know, damage and returns and things like that. So basically and functionally what that means is Pokemon could open up a window and say, hey, we're releasing this set. Let's use Destined Rivals just because we don't have any of, that's the best example. Let's say they opened up theoretically Destined Rivals or the 30th anniversary, whatever. They say, hey, we're going to do the 30th anniversary. Pre-orders are going to be open from this time to this time. So from this 30-day window, pre-orders are open. Every pre-order that's placed is going to be produced. So if 1 million boxes are pre-ordered, then 1 million boxes at minimum are going to be produced. If 500,000 are pre-ordered, then that's what will be produced. If 10 million are pre-ordered, then they'll produce 10 million. And what happens with that is you have this window where people can pre-order, that everybody who wants something is able to get their pre-order in and actually get that placed, and they're going to get that pre-order. And then as time goes on, there still could be demand for that specific product, because maybe people, you know, that time release pre-order happens 2 or 3 months before the set actually comes out. Like Destined Rivals comes out May 30th, and they just dropped the pre-orders for the Pokemon Center exclusive Elite Trainer boxes just the other day. So they dropped those pre-orders about 2 months early. So maybe they do these timed release pre-orders, you know, 8 weeks to 10 weeks before the actual release. And then what would happen is all those orders come in, and then as those next 2 or 3 months go by before the set releases, there's inevitably going to be people that missed pre-orders, that didn't pre-order, that decided, oh, I actually do want this. So there still should be some demand available, with there still being the opportunity for people to get what they want. Now, I think there are some caveats to this, that there's a difference between producing a timed release designer toy and Pokemon cards. We have seen Pokemon do this in Japan with Japanese booster boxes a couple times, and Japanese products, not specifically booster boxes, but products, saying, well, I think they might have done it with Japanese 151 at one point. That's very possible. But basically saying, hey, this window's open, everything that's pre-ordered will be produced. But there's a couple caveats, okay? If they do this, I think they need to put a limit. So somebody can't go in, some, streamer can't go and be like, dude, I want to pre-order 100,000 boxes. They need to put a cap, okay? Everybody that orders, it'll be made, maximum order, I don't know, 10 units or whatever, 5 units or 5 booster boxes or 5 ETBs, whatever the case may be. Put some type of limit on it. And then the other problem that I think needs to be solved is we obviously, you and me, we can't just like pre-order from Pokemon like that, right? Like we might be able to pre-order from Pokemon Center. Well, Pokemon Center does do pre-orders like that. Like that's actually an interesting thing that I'm processing through as I'm talking to you guys about this. Pokemon does do pre-orders. They have items up for pre-order, so maybe they could pull that off on the Pokemon Center online. Maybe that's actually something they could pull off. I don't know. But they could also implement a policy with their distributors, and there's a whole slew of issues with distributors that we've talked about in the past. Distributors holding product back, blah, 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 blah. But they could implement a policy saying, hey, you have to open these pre-order window from this time. And then those distros can go to their accounts at different LGSs and everybody and say, hey, the pre-order window is open from this day to this day. Every pre-order that is placed will be produced by Pokemon. And then they can open the pre-order window to their customers like you and me and say, hey, open pre-order. There's a timed release pre-order for the new Pokemon card set. Every order that you place will be produced. We'll submit that order to the distro, and the distro will submit that order to Pokemon, and it will be produced. And you can order a max of 2 of every product to be guaranteed, or whatever the case may be. There would have to be some hoops to go through to work this out, but this is a technique that has been done in other ways and other times. And I actually think this would be a great way for Pokemon to increase hype and increase revenue and actually gauge what the excitement is for a set. It would make the market a little more dynamic, in my opinion, and it would cause it to where people that just like, hey, if they're like, hey, I want, 2 boxes of every set, 2 ETBs, 2 booster boxes, and 2 booster bundles of every set. I don't really care what the hype is around the set. I just like to open every set and collect things. It would give them the opportunity to do that, to guarantee that product, and then it would give other stores and other places the opportunity to, an LGS could place the order for what they need for their store and be, guaranteed to get that as well within a certain time frame. I truly think that this technique could make the Pokemon card market to where it's accessible for the fans to still get their hands on stuff while still leaving opportunity for growth, for prices to increase over time. And there still very well could be excitement on release and potentially even FOMO on release, but the people that were disciplined enough were able to get those guaranteed orders in. Timed pre-orders and timed releases on new Pokemon card sets would be an absolute game changer. This way, you're printing exactly what the market says they want, and that would be a huge win. But let's be honest, Pokemon doesn't pay attention to me, so they'll probably never hear about this. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. That is free, and it helps so much. Check this one out next. YouTube says you'll like it. And like I always say, my friends, find somebody to love and serve today. Be the change you want to see in the world. See you next time.